Take 649,000.
Hey guys, it's Ron Bass again. Yep, that's me. With another edition of, guess what? The Ron Bass Show.
Woo!
Your source for inspiration, encouragement, motivation, dry humor. Mr. Brent Atterbury. What say you, sir?
I'm just glad to be here.
Man, I'm glad to be here too. Glad to be anywhere.
Things happen all the time.
Life is interesting.
It is.
Life's a mystery.
Oh, it is?
You just never know what's going to happen. What's the old, what was the show that, Forrest Gump? It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
That's exactly right.
And it changes all the time.
I know.
You gotta
the ones
be-
with the cherries in them, I don't like.
You don't like that? No. I like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like chocolate in general.
Oh, okay.
Probably not good for us, but you know, hey, we're human beings. We're not perfect. We're going to do things that probably aren't smart. But that's just life, man. The secret to everything is adjust as you go. Manage things as they come up. Don't ever give up and give in. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about something that's been on my mind lately, about how people are so mesmerized with fame. Like recently we had the Grammys, the Golden Globe Awards, all that kind of stuff. And you see these people just like freaking out on the sidelines when these stars come through. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, on a much smaller scale, people come up to me in Springfield, Missouri, where we're from. Brent and I were talking earlier. I'm in the home repair business and have been for a long time. Mm-hmm. And we had television commercials and we had a radio jingle. And it's funny how people will say, "Oh, you're the guy that does the jingle. You're the guy that has that company." And I think to myself, they're so excited. But you know what? I put my pants on like everybody else. And these movie stars and these musicians that are so famous, they're just like us.
Yeah.
It's just that they have more financial success. They're more popular because they're worldwide. And with the internet today, you know, with communication, the way we have communication with television and the internet, everybody knows you. And so people are mesmerized by the idea that you're that person. But I say that to say this, guys, that they put their pants on just like us. They put their dress on just like us. They put their skirt on just like us. Be more impressed with people that are doing something that's meaningful. And in other words, and same thing for you, you should be thinking every day about how important it is for you to pass on knowledge to somebody else, for you to pass on goodwill to somebody else, to be a humanitarian. And if these people that have all this success aren't doing that, what's the point? I mean, if they've got all this money and fame, they should be engaged in helping other people. They should be engaged in trying to improve other people's lives. Mm-hmm. And that's what we should be impressed with. Just wanted to throw that out there because I see a lot of people freaking out, you know, when they see these stars and they want their autograph and they want to shake their hand. And yeah, it's cool, I get it. But at the same time, let's be more impressed with people, ordinary people, that are passing the baton and helping other people. We talk a lot about how we open the door for somebody or compliment somebody. Be that guy, be that girl, be that person.
I told you the story about Katharine Hepburn.
Yes.
Her mom, I guess, they're from here.
Yeah, from here.
So, yeah, she came in back a long time ago when
Katharine
I sold
Turner,
shoes.
not Katharine Hepburn.
Oh, you're right. Katharine.
This is what happens when you get old, guys. You can't remember anything.
Well, I've only had one cup of
things.
coffee.
Katharine Hepburn. She's been dead a long time.
Yeah,
man.
that's
But she was a
right.
famous movie star.
Yeah. So Kathleen Turner.
Yes.
She came in when I was selling shoes when I was young and brought her daughter in.
Yeah.
And
That's a great story.
I was able to work with her, measure her child's foot, and get her a pair of shoes.
That's a
so
great
it was
story.
Very, very, very interesting, and no one bothered her, and I knew who she was, and so did everyone else. But everyone was pretty cool.
And think about your small beginnings doing that versus now you're a famous producer.
Okay.
You're a famous marketing guru guy. You're a famous podcast star.
Oh no!
We all start somewhere, guys.
Yeah.
You know, small beginnings, and then we work our way up the ranks.
My dad's a big fish in a little pond up in northern Missouri. They had a country show where he was the comedian, and they were on for like 24 or 25 years.
That's impressive.
At 6 o'clock every Saturday night on KRCG in Jefferson City, Missouri. So up in that neck of the woods, a lot of people know who he is.
Yeah, he was a big fish in a small pond, but really he was a big fish, generally speaking. His father, professional comedian. So I don't know what happened to Brent, but he, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't either.
Look, here's the deal. Here's the deal, Pickle. Whatever your goal is, wherever you're at in life, just keep this in mind, that everybody starts somewhere.
Yes.
And you have to work yourself up through the ranks. Last night I'm doing jiu-jitsu in my dojo here in Springfield, Missouri. And I'm thinking to myself, 10, 11 years later, I'm still doing this. And I remember when I first started, it was like, wow, I'm engaged in this new idea. I'm engaged in this new experience. And am I ever going to really be able to get anywhere with it? And now all these years later, it's like, I'm thinking to myself, it's crazy how time just passes, man. So the key to everything is engage with your ideas and your goals and your wants and your desires. And don't worry about where you're at that moment. Just keep in mind as you go through this process in life, you're going to get better at something if you keep doing it. Whether it's being a marketing guy, whether it's being a comedian, whether it's being a business guy, whether it's being an athlete, whether it's being a musician, whether it's being whatever it is. Doesn't matter. A parent. Parenting is a big deal. I'm not a parent, but I have a lot of friends that are, and it's
a full-time job.
It's a full-time job.
And you need sometimes a village to help.
Yeah, you can't do it you can do it by yourself,
it's
but
hard.
You need a lot of people.
It's hard.
To in your court to help you to make it happen. Here's a cool success story. So there's this young man that works for McDonald's, and he's got this big position. I think it's like a regional manager or something. He's making like big bucks. Well, his father has this A&W root beer stand somewhere in Wisconsin, and his dad's struggling. And at some point, the dad has to close down the business. And here's the son, 30, 35 years old, debating, what do I do? What do I do? Do I go back to help my dad? Do I stay with this really good job that I've got? And he said, you know what? I got to help my dad. He quits his job at McDonald's making, I don't know, over 6 figures. Goes back to see what he can do to help his father. So what they come up with, they're going to close the they close the business, and they rename it after their last name, which is Culver. Culver's Restaurant. This is like 40 years ago. Well, to make a real long story short, they come up with a whole new design idea, like this is going to be like a full menu restaurant, and it's going to be classy. It's going to be like more expensive than the A&W, but it's going to be better food. And so the idea was that, you might have to come in and wait a little bit, but hey, the food's going to be great. Well, they begged, borrowed, and stole and put together this beautiful restaurant, and guess what? Nobody showed up. And they're waiting and hoping and wondering, and oh my God, months go by, and they're about ready to go broke, literally. Can't pay their loans back, can't pay. And then something begins to happen. People start coming in, and then word starts passing around. Hey, this place has got really good food. Yeah, you got to wait a little bit, but it's worth the wait. The next thing you know, after a few more months, they begin to get a crowd, and then it starts going and going. And then, over the course of time, they start franchising. Now, let's fast forward 40 years later. Culver's has got over 800 locations across the United States.
Wow.
Yep. So, I say that to say this, guys. Don't give up on your dream, no matter where you're at, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much you think it's not going to go. Usually success is just around the corner. And even if it isn't, eventually, if you don't quit and don't give up on yourself, something good's going to probably happen. You have to be very, very patient. Not easy, but success isn't easy. Okay, I just love that story.
Home of the Butter Burger.
The Butter Burger.
Yeah. Made fresh to order.
Yep.
They don't have them just sitting around under heat lamps.
Nope.
They make them fresh to order.
By the way, they're one of our customers here in Springfield, Missouri. We do work on their appliances.
Yeah.
At some of their stores. I think
Well,
they've got 2 stores
good
here in
food. You're making
Springfield.
me hungry now. Is it lunchtime?
Well, it's getting pretty close. It's about 10:30 in the United States. Okay. One other quick story, and then I'll turn it over to Mr. Brent. So years ago, there was this gentleman who, this is like in the 60s. I don't know all the exact details of the story, but basically what happened was he got prosecuted. He goes to court. He tries to defend himself. It didn't go well. They throw the book at him. They put him in prison. I don't even remember what the crime was. I don't think it was like a horrible crime. Mm-hmm. Make a long story short, he's saying to himself, hey, this is not right. This is not right. I can't afford an attorney, and I couldn't defend myself well, and now they put me in prison. But I didn't do the crime, and I can't even defend myself properly. So he goes to the library in the prison, and he researches and reads, and Make a long story short, he comes up with this game plan, goes back to court. He's able to figure out how to do that, and goes all the way to the Supreme Court. Well, the guy must have been pretty smart to figure all this out. The Supreme Court rules, if somebody doesn't have the money to defend themselves, the court has to assign an attorney for him. That was the beginning of the public defender system back in the 60s. And this young man, or I don't think he was that young, was responsible for that process. Wow. So I say that to say this. Stand up for yourself, man. And who knows what can come out of that. Maybe not something that phenomenal, but something good's going to happen if you stand up for yourself. At a minimum, you're going to feel good about yourself for believing enough in yourself to make the wrong right. Okay, what say you, Mr. Brent?
So, do you get bacon on your Butterburger?
I like bacon.
Bacon's good on everything.
Yes, sir.
Well, I came across a story that kind of has something to do with fitness in a way.
Okay.
That I thought was interesting. A 7-year-old boy in China was sent homework home, and his homework was to do jump rope 100 times. Now, I don't know, I think everyone in the class had to do this. I guess it's part of a physical fitness thing. I don't know. I really don't know. But his dad had an idea. He said, wow, he said, you know what we ought to do, because unfortunately the little guy is just a little overweight, and they're trying to figure out ways for him to lose a few pounds.
Okay.
And his dad said, well, I tell you what, you know, we need to come up with a way to use this jump rope thing to get you kind of in shape.
Okay.
And the little boy said, well, I tell you what, he goes, let me videotape me of doing jump rope.
Okay.
And we'll put it on YouTube. And however many likes we get, I'll do that many jump ropes.
Okay.
And
Sounds
his dad
cool.
said, let's do it. So they did it. And like 2 days later, he had 1.8 million views.
Holy camole.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for.
Wow. Wow.
So
there's no way he could do that.
Well, he said, hey, Dad, I can't do that. Would you do it for me?
That's funny.
So anyway.
That's a good story.
Good story. You know, he's trying to get in shape, be fit, but be careful what you wish for.
Speaking of be fit, make sure you go to the gym at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah. But you don't have to do 1.8 million jump ropes.
No.
Also, today is National Strawberry Day.
Ooh, we like strawberries.
Yeah. It's also, which is kind of odd, No-Brainer Day.
No-Brainer Day.
Yeah, No-Brainer Day.
That sounds like us.
And then there was one more thing I wanted to bring up. I saw that I thought was interesting. It's so funny that you can read through these. There's like a lot of things.
That's interesting.
Each day represents. Thought of the day.
Thought of the day.
National Thought of the Day. So what is Thought of the Day?
Well, you know, I have that prayer that I say every morning. Maybe we could talk about that here in a second.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay, so every morning, guys, I say a prayer. I say several prayers, but here's the prayer I think that helps me more than anything. Dear Lord, please remove all people, places, and things from my life that are not part of my divine destiny. And dear Lord, please put into my life all people, places, and things that are part of my divine destiny. And you know what? It's a phenomenal thing that happens when you recite that every day, because you find yourself getting rid of all these things in your life that are like causing you trouble. And then you really work hard at trying to find resources that are good for you to make your life better and better for people around you. I know it sounds real simple, but if you would just write that down and maybe recite that I've done this for, golly, 30 or 40 years. Now, has it always worked? No, because I made a lot of bad mistakes. I think mostly the reason I made so many bad mistakes was because I was too easygoing. And I believed in everybody. And then the bad people would take advantage of that, right?
Right.
What's the old saying? Don't mistake kindness for weakness. But I was just too overly kind, I think. It's good to be kind, but you got to be careful, guys. So temper yourself a little bit. Okay, is that all you got?
That's all I got.
Man, well, we'll get out of here then, I guess. We've bored everybody enough. So just remember, guys, if you don't give up, which you better not, eventually stars are going to line up. And when that happens, you're going to be a whole lot better off. But until that time comes, and even after that time comes, just remember, the most important thing all day long, every day, is to keep your head up, keep your chin up, and stay positive.